right, today we have ourselves another comparison video. Once again, we're gonna do a cheap thing versus an expensive thing and see if the cheap thing can compete. And for today's comparison, we're gonna go with the GoPro Hero 8 Black as our expensive thing at $299. And that will compete with the much requested Akaso V50 Elite. A lot of you guys have hit me up about this thing saying, hey, this thing's only $139. Should I just get that instead of a GoPro? Today we're gonna find out. Real quick though, guys, I just wanna take a minute and thank all of you who have picked up a Be a Good Human shirt or the new channel logo tee over on the merch site. I touched on this a while ago, but when this whole pandemic hit, I pretty much lost my job as a professional photographer. Almost all of the weddings and events that were scheduled for this year have either canceled or postponed until next year. So for the past few months, this channel and the merch have been my family's income. So to everybody who has picked up a shirt, I just wanna let you know I am so incredibly grateful for your support. I'm so stoked that you are here as part of this channel's community, and thank you. You rock. Okay, so for today's comparison video, we are comparing the $299 GoPro Hero 8 Black, which by the way is already $100 cheaper than when it was released. It was released at $399 and it's already down to $299. And once again, we are comparing it against this Akaso V50 Elite, which is pretty much a GoPro knockoff. Even the packaging looks like a GoPro. And in my GoPro accessories comparison video, we kind of found out that the cheap accessories were a way better deal and shockingly good for the price. So can we repeat that today? We're gonna find out. I will say, I'm not confident. Okay, so first up, we're gonna see what's in the box. This is the Akaso over here, but with the GoPro, you get the GoPro Hero 8 Black, you get the camera, you get a battery, you get a cable, you get a flat mount, the flat female piece of the mount, and then you get the male piece, which actually hooks up to the GoPro, and then this clicks into there wherever you stick this. And that's all you get. And with the Akaso, I can already tell you get a dive housing with it, but that makes me think that this camera without the dive housing might not be no, that's for sure not waterproof. So you get the Akaso camera and you get a dive housing, which looks like this is what makes it waterproof. So if you want to go in the water, you're gonna need to put this inside of this. Very akin to the GoPro Hero 4? Was it the 5? Wait, this is the Hero 5 right here, and Hero 5, yep, that's the Hero 5 and no case. So this is kind of more akin to the Hero 4 as far as the waterproof ability. Not a great start. Wow, this box is like stuffed full. This is a lot of plastic. Oh my gosh, you get a lot with it. Okay, let's see what's in here. Right off the bat, we have 2 flat mounts. We have a lens cloth. This is nice. 2 batteries with the Akaso. There's your charging cable. A dual battery charger. So this comes with 2 batteries and a dual charger in the box. That you pay a lot extra for GoPro. This is a frame door. So looks like we have some various mount bits. Here's a GoPro mount to /20 mount, and here's a /20 to GoPro mount. So both ways you wanna go, you get that in the box. Here's one of the male, get out of there, GoPro mounts. This is the really lifted one, the high one. Comes with, oh wow, a couple of safety lines. Some zip ties, I don't know what those are for. A handlebar mount that looks almost exactly like the handlebar mount that was in the cheap accessories video. Handlebar mount. Velcro straps, and then check this out. It comes with a remote control and a battery that's not in the remote control. Comes with a remote control. Again, on the GoPro side, you have to buy all of this stuff separately. You're really only getting this with the GoPro. You get all this with the Akaso. Quality-wise, I would say these accessories are kind of on par with our cheap accessories video. That plastic just feels different than the GoPros. But like we learned in the accessories video, a lot of this stuff, it kind of works the same. It doesn't really matter that it's cheaper. Battery charger does feel kind of cheap too. That's probably not good. Camera is also micro USB, not USB-C. So points to Akaso for including so much stuff, but negative points for the micro USB-C thing. So let's look physically at these 2 cameras next to each other. They're about the same size. They're of similar size. Again, this really does look a lot like the Hero 4. They really took the form factor, the really squared off body, that real circular lens piece. I think this looks almost exactly like a Hero 4. And one thing that's kind of notable is you'll see on the front of the GoPro is that little LED screen that just kind of shows you some information. And on the front of the Akaso, that's just a sticker. So hopefully there's a red light. It looks like there's two little spots where there might be a red light on the front of the camera that'll let us know that we're recording. Again, the GoPro doesn't have a screen per se to see yourself on the front, but it does show you that you're recording. You can see the information on there. This looks like it just has lights. But again, physically, the most notable difference is that the GoPro Hero 8 Black is a waterproof camera. I can take it like this, I can just dunk it in the water and it's good to go. Whereas the Akaso, if you're going in the water, you're gonna get it wet. It needs to go into this case, very circa Hero 4, and now it's waterproof. Now the huge downside with that obviously is that while it's in here, the audio is pretty much unusable. It was always a thing with GoPro back in the day when it was in the case and you just went, well, if it's in the case, it's kind of a music montage. I can't actually talk to the camera. It's not picking up any of the sounds. Okay, have an SD card in there, and you'll see one of the nice things about the Akaso is it does have a decently large touchscreen on the back. It's the same 2-inch touchscreen that the GoPro has. As for the menu systems, I can kind of already see it's kind of that Windows 95 look that a lot of these knockoff cameras have. I don't know why it's so expensive to make a decent looking UI, but this very much feels like I'm in Windows 95. Okay, we have image stabilization. We'll turn that on, that's good. Go into our video resolution. 4K 60 frames a second, 4K 30 frames a second, 2.7K 60 frames a second, 1080 120 frames a second, and 720p 240 frames a second. Okay, so specs wise, it looks like the GoPro has the lead in the frame rate category, but the GoPro takes 10 megapixel photos where the Akaso is saying it takes 20 megapixel photos. So we're gonna see if those extra megapixels translate to quality. Those two things don't always coincide with each other. Just because a camera says it can do 8K or 40 megapixels, it doesn't mean it does it well. Okay, so that's enough of the specs. We're actually gonna go test this thing out, and I've got the new grip again with this little dual piece, and you'll notice that over here, I have a normal GoPro mount because the Hero 8 Black has got those flip down feet. I just pop those down, and now that the feet are there, I can slide it into place and get it mounted. But with the Akaso, while it's in the case, it's using the two GoPro feet, but while it's not in the case, it has a 1/4-20 mount on the actual camera. I know some people actually really like the 1/4-20 mount. They prefer 1/4-20 over the GoPro feet. I actually like the GoPro feet more than a 1/4-20 mount, only because a 1/4-20 mount can spin out, right? So if this thing, I get it locked in there, feels like it's really locked in, but if it was on here mounted and something hit it, it can just unscrew itself. So I personally am not a fan of 1/4-20 mounts for action cameras especially, but I do know some people really like them and wish that GoPro had a 1/4-20 mount all the time. So here we go. Akaso V50 Elite versus GoPro Hero 8 Black. We're gonna go to the beach. Actually, me, Morgan, and Eleanor are gonna go to the beach, and we'll test out the video and audio specs of these two cameras.
The next day.
It's the next day and I don't have very good news. Basically, the Akaso, it was kind of terrible. I'm super disappointed in the footage I got, and you'll understand my disappointment when you see the side-by-side comparison. Because right off the bat, the color on the Akaso was super desaturated, super flat profile, which I thought was maybe a log profile, but I dug into the settings, I went through everything on this camera, everything in that crazy Windows 98 menu system, and I couldn't find any way to change the color profile. So I think that's just the default that comes out of the camera. And I can do a bit of color correction to adjust it to make it a little better, to make it a little more saturated, bring back some of those warm tones, but in general, out of the camera, it's not great. Oh, and all of this, by the way, is in 30 frames a second because the Akaso doesn't do 24 frames a second. So I set the GoPro to 30 frames a second as well so that we'd have an accurate camera comparison here. But you guys know, if I'm on my GoPro, it's at 24 frames a second and it looks so good. The audio, also a huge bummer. While we're still in 30 frames a second, this is as good a time as any for an audio test. Here's the audio test on the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Tons of waves in the background, nice and loud at the beach. And here is an audio test of the Akaso V50 Elite. Same thing, tons of waves. What do you think, bub? What do you think? I'm a little nervous with this right now because, again, the Akaso not waterproof in its current setup. If I had the waterproof case on, you just couldn't hear me at all, really. While the body shape of this Akaso looks like the Hero 4, the Hero 4 was actually known for its audio. When we switched to the Hero 5, a lot of people kept their Hero 4s because they liked the audio better. It wasn't in a waterproof case, so they could actually put some really good mics in there that didn't have to have that waterproof membrane over it. This doesn't do that. It's the same case with 4K, 60 frames a second. We flipped over to that to do a little slow-mo. Same thing, it just doesn't look good. Looks over sharpened, a little chunky in some areas of the frame, and just in general, not what I would want to use. And then lastly, image stabilization. The Akaso says that it has electronic image stabilization, or EIS. How is the stabilization on the Akaso compared to the GoPro? I'm walking, and then I'll do a quick run. Can the Akaso compete stabilization? No, not even close. Pretty terrible, actually. So here's the thing with this camera, and I talked about this with my Patreons on our live stream Friday this last week, and Leo kind of echoed the same thing. This camera is $140. It doesn't have great video quality. The slow-mo also looks pretty bad. The audio is bad, and it's not waterproof. So if you're gonna go out and spend $140 on an action camera, it's worth it to wait a while, save some more money, and make that next jump. And for me, that next jump is the Hero 7 Black, which I think you can buy online right now for $229. So that's a $90 jump. I know that's a lot. It's like a 80-something% increase from the Akaso at $140, jumping all the way to $229, but it's not that much. It's $90. So if you wait a little while longer, save up the extra $90, you can get the Hero 7 Black, which has Hyper Smooth, which is waterproof. It doesn't have the fold down feet, so you are still putting it in this frame, but it does have the removable lens cover, which is super key that the 8 doesn't have. This is actually a really good camera. People that have the Hero 7, I said, don't upgrade to the Hero 8. It's not worth the upgrade if you already own this thing. If you don't own one, I still think you should get this. But if you're in this market, just save a little more and get a Hero 7. Or wait until the Hero 9 comes out in like a month or two, and then the Hero 7 should be even cheaper. Maybe it'll be $199, $175, somewhere in that range, and then the difference between these two will be minimal. Price-wise, quality-wise, this is much better. But we wanted to see if a cheaper camera could do, at least keep up with the expensive camera. We tried. We failed, but we tried. And that's what's important. It's important to keep trying things, see something new like this come on the market. I get a ton of questions from you guys, and then we try it out, and then I let you know, don't buy it. Yeah, go buy a Hero 7. I still think this is possibly the best GoPro that they made all around as a camera. This obviously has some upgrades that I really do like, but as an all-around camera, the Hero 7 Black with the removable lens is maybe still my favorite GoPro. But for all of you that have asked me about the Akaso, no. All right, I will see you guys soon. This next week, I'm hoping for a few videos. I'm kind of excited about a couple of them, and maybe if I can finish it, the Osmo Action video will be up this week. That's my hope. I'm hoping this week.